What's up, guys? It's your man Donovan Sharp, and welcome to episode 1100 of TSR Live. It's interesting. I wonder. I've sort of kicked around the idea of calling this TSR B&E, as in bright and early, and no, not breaking and entering. It is Monday, September the 9th of 2024. It is good to have you guys in today. We have a bit of a controversial topic here today, and it's something, obviously it's something near and dear to, not necessarily near and dear to anybody's heart, but it's something that has sort of plagued this country. Has sort of plagued this country. Prince Diamond on one of my other YouTube channels says, "Nigga, do you really care about black issues?" That really depends. To To a degree, I do, because of course I am black. But niggas like you, no, I don't care about niggas like you. Like I don't care about niggas like you, Prince Diamond. And yes, that is a pile of that appears to be a pile of clothes over there. But yeah, I know. Listen, man, I know people are going to come out of the woodworks and, you know, do you really care about black issues? Blah 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 blah. And that's actually a very good place to start. So, you guys know that I how can I put this? You guys know that I've caught a lot of heat from quote unquote black YouTube, right? You guys know that, you know, black people like Prince Diamond over here don't really consider me to be black, right? And again, if you guys have any thoughts, if you have any thoughts, agreements, disagreements, give me a call, 516-387-1987, 516-387-1987. But, you know, there are a lot of black people over in the quote-unquote black community. Sometimes we affectionately refer to them as the communita, so to speak. They're hard on guys like me. Anytime you hold black people accountable, in situations like this, you get people like Prince Diamond that say, nigga, do you really care about black issues? Well, the answer is yes. I do care about black issues, but there is a caveat to that. It is to a degree. I do care to a degree. You guys know that I am a very, very strong advocate. And listen, I react to police videos on a regular basis. And by the way, I'm going to be reacting to more police videos, probably later today. Today's morning show, I'm just going to discuss this whole Tyreek Hill thing. But yeah, you know, it's very, very interesting. It's a very interesting time that we are in, you know. So yeah, so let's go ahead and get right into it. Before we continue, let me read the comments. Oh, wow, you guys are coming in here. Robert Leeser says, as a Jacksonville native Jaguars fan, we could have used a few more Finns out of the lineup after yesterday's loss, maybe. B Daddy says Jacksonville should never have lost that game, inexcusable. B Daddy says Miami got lucky. Their luck will run out this Thursday against Buffalo at home. Okay, I guess we're getting into the sports talk real quick here. Mr. Make That Make Sense says, why he got to be on the ground just to put on handcuffs? Yeah, that's kind of the debate today. That's kind of the debate today. Robert Eliezer says, nothing more frustrating than starting the season off with an L. Okay, got it. Jags. Okay, all right. Try not to get into the sports talk. Try not to get into the sports talk too quickly. Ricky Spanish, interesting name, says, I'm from SoFla, so I can attest that Miami Gardens PD leaves a lot to be desired, needs improvement, et cetera, et cetera. A. Lee, damn bro, views low AF, ha 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 ha, fell off. It's so funny. My trolls are always looking for something to talk about, right? They tried the whole Devin's a single mother. Obviously, that's not true. Devin's fat and ugly. Obviously, that's not true. Donovan's broke. Clearly not true. So what they try to do now is they try to troll me. Ha 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 ha! Your views fell off. Okay, yeah, you know, yeah. My views are low as fuck. They've fallen off. That's part of the game. But what these people fail to realize is that my life does not revolve. It used to. It doesn't revolve around views, et cetera, et cetera. You guys already know I've made my money. And at this point, I do this for you guys. And so, yeah, fine. Make fun of the fact that my views fall off. That is absolutely true. But my life is still awesome. And yours is not. The reason I know that yours is not is because you feel the need to come in here and troll me about my views. You can't make this stuff up. Anyway, let's go ahead and take a look. I've got several videos, clips of the Tyreek Hill arrest. And of course, listen, man, we can certainly we can certainly go into, the ethical and moral duty. And again, guys, give me a call, 516-387-1987, 516-387-1987. So let's go ahead and listen and watch. Here we go.
No way.
Chill out.
Dylan,
Get him video.
I did. Dylan.
Yo, FaceTime me.
So there he is. He's on the ground. Yeah, listen to them. Listen. You know what's interesting is that you can't, somebody is yelling. Somebody is yelling. My guess is that it's probably, and, the guy yelling sounds like the police officer. We know what Tyreek Hill sounds like. If you're a sports fan, you know what Tyreek Hill, you know what he sounds like. And he does not appear to be, obviously he's going back and forth, et cetera, but it's very, very difficult to sort of pick up on what the police officer is yelling or screaming. So you can't really, let me try this again here. He said, you understand? And then something. He says, don't get it fucking confused. Listen. He said, don't get it fucking confused. So it sounds like the cop is. Yeah, look, I can't necessarily pick up on everything that he's saying, but it sounds to me like he's saying, don't get it fucking confused.
What the fuck?
It's Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, Tyreek Hill.
Dylan, no. I'm trying to get on video.
They put him in handcuffs.
Yeah, I'm not. Oh boy.
Oh fuck.
So guys, this is the point of contention. This is the point of contention. And I gotta tell you, I myself, I'm conflicted when I see this. And the reason I'm conflicted when I see this is because you guys know that I'm a strong advocate for people, in particular black people, black men. Listen, just comply with the cops. Just comply with the cops. I told you guys a story about what happened to me, I would say 2 to 3 weeks ago. 2 to 3 weeks ago. As a matter of fact, so today's September 9th. On August 11th, this past August 11th, you guys know that's my birthday. I turned 47 years old and my Nevada driver license expired. And so, oh, wait a minute. And so I'm on my way to Home Depot, or I forgot where the hell I was. But I'm in the really, really, really nice area that I live. For those of you, listen, man, I live in the Galena High Plains here in Reno, the Galena area. And I know a lot of you guys are going to be like, well, don't say where you live because people are, no, dude, nobody's coming to get me. And the reason I know that nobody's coming to get me is because you guys know that that's what I want. I would love nothing more. I would love absolutely nothing more than for someone to try to break into my house and do something to me and mine. I'm just waiting for that opportunity. So please, by all means, if you see me walking around the Galena area, please feel free to roll up on me and say hello. Anyway, and by the way, we had to get evacuated because of the wildfires. I'll get into that later. But so I'm driving around and I'm probably on my way to either Lowe's or Home Depot. I can't remember exactly. And I ran up on a stop sign. And I didn't realize that the stop sign was there because the trees, the foliage was kind of covering it. And so the car behind me, the car in front of me stopped, and then they made the left. I sort of did a rolling stop, sort of a stop signal, and rolled through the stop sign. Well, I looked in my rear view mirror. I looked in my rear view mirror just as I was making that turn, and I saw a glimpse of a Washoe County sheriff in an SUV. And just as I made out who it was, I was like, oh shit, man, wait a minute. Did I just run that? And as soon as I questioned myself, did I just run the stop sign? Whoop, here come the lights. Pull over immediately. Sheriff gets out of the car. And as soon as he gets to the window, we're on the street. He actually approaches me from the passenger side. instead of the driver's side. And he's like, hey, do you know why? I was like, yes, officer, I know. I blew right through that stop sign. I said, I'm not trying to make excuses, but there were some foliage, there were some trees in the way. Blah. He's like, no, I understand. He's like, I'll tell you what. He's like, let's just make sure that your license is valid and all this other kind of stuff, and you can be on your way. I said, yeah, officer. I said, my license expired. This was a Tuesday. I said, my license expired 2 days ago. I said, 2 days ago, Sunday was my 47th birthday, and the cop actually said, "Oh, happy belated birthday." I'm still a little bit apprehensive, but he had a really good attitude about it. We had an honest back and forth. Gave him the insurance information. Blah 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 blah. He said, "Okay, I get it. Let me go back to my cruiser, run some things, and we'll figure this out." He's back there probably maybe a minute and a half. He comes back. He hands me back my expired license. He's like, "All right, I'm going to go ahead and let you go." He's like, "Because I know you will never, ever, ever, ever run that stop sign again." I said, "Thank you so very much." And he let me go. He knew my license. I had broken a traffic law. I had run a stop sign. He pulled me over. My license was expired only by a couple of days, but it was expired nonetheless. And he let me go. And the reason why he let me go, I would like to think, is because I was polite. I didn't get stupid. I didn't say, "Why did you pull me over?" And I couldn't. No, I said, "Listen, I couldn't see the stop sign. I get it. No excuse. It is what it is." The guy let me go, right? This was at his discretion. And the reason, there are a few reasons why that particular interaction went the way it did. Number one, it's because of the area that I live in, right? I live in a very, very highly affluent area. There's really no other way to put it. I am surrounded by beautiful $1 million homes. The grass is always pristine. And it's interesting because we rarely see law enforcement. We rarely see cops in the area that Devin and I live in. And, my guess is that there's a reason for that, is because riffraff doesn't necessarily pop off. But every once in a while, there will be a cruiser just cruising around to make sure everybody's following the law, make sure there's no riffraff. In other words, niggas, Prince Diamond, right? And so, I blew the stop sign. He pulled me over. I was totally polite. That's the first the first reason that he probably let me go is because of the area I live in. The second reason is because of the fact that I was polite. I was polite. I was accountable. I didn't get stupid. I didn't get confrontational. I admitted as, "Hey, blew the stop sign. My license is expired, but I'm fully insured. We just moved here last month." I mean, and at this point, we still had our New Jersey tags, right? So he probably that's probably another reason. He probably said, "Okay, this guy is probably a little bit new here, blah 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 blah." But as soon as I hand him over my Nevada driver's license, oh wait a minute, this guy might not be so new. The point is, guys, is that the reason that interaction went the way it did, there were a few factors. Again, the area that I live, but the main thing is because I was polite. I was accountable, I didn't get stupid. And guys, I've reacted to plenty of police videos where, dude, men, women, black, white, whatever the case may be, they get stupid. They get absolutely stupid, pardon me, when cops pull them over, whatever the case may be. What the hell was I doing? And then, of course, we wonder why cops end up 187ing people who cause trouble like that. You guys know I'm a strong advocate for, hey, comply with the cops, man. If you don't want any trouble with the cops, just comply, right? Don't do anything. Listen, if they tell you to step out of the car, step out of the car. If they tell you to put your hands on the hood, put your hands on the hood. Don't be asking them questions. Don't try to litigate your case before you get detained or arrested. And so that brings us to this particular situation. This is why I'm conflicted. On one hand, if this guy wasn't Tyreek Hill and I was reacting to this video, I would automatically assume, okay, well, the reason why they have this guy on the ground is probably because he mouthed off to the cops. Well, yeah, of course he deserves to be. And again, this is one side of my mind. Well, I mean, listen, if they have him on the ground in handcuffs, then surely there is a good reason to, have him on the ground in handcuffs and detained. He probably popped off, blah, 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 blah. But then on the other side of this, I'm thinking to myself, why they know who this guy is, right? The Miami, and it looks like he's driving, it looks like a McLaren, right? So you've got, and guys, by the way, this is right outside of Hard Rock Stadium, okay? You guys can hear Walter trying to get in. This is right outside of Hard Rock Stadium. And so the cops, The cops know and understand, okay, today is opening day for the Miami Dolphins. Listen, we know that there are really nice cars driving all around Miami. There's Lambos, McLarens, Bugattis, all that good stuff. Right? And, listen, man, one would think that, some of these people who have money do go to the games. But if you see somebody who looks like Tyreek Hill rolling around in a McLaren, you probably know that's an athlete, right? You see, you see a young black man in a really nice car driving in. Obviously, he's he's trying to get to the players' parking lot, whatever the case may be. You know for a fact that, or not, that this is probably a player. Now, the story on the cop side is that he was given a moving violation. I guess he was driving recklessly, he was speeding, whatever. Okay, that's fine. Pull the guy over. Hey, Mr. Hill, look, I understand, you're in a hurry, game day today, blah, 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 blah. But my question is, what exactly did Tyreek Hill say or do to end up in this position? What did he say or do to end up on the ground in handcuffs dude, he's the number one player, voted the best player in the NFL by his own peers. What is this guy? $200 million man, wide receiver for the Dolphins, superstar wide receiver, probably a future Hall of Famer. How did this guy get on the ground? How does this guy end up in handcuffs face down on a Sunday before he's going to the game? And you can see Hard Rock Stadium right there in the background. I'm assuming that's what that is. Yep, that's my cat. I'm assuming. Quiet. Sorry, guys. I'm assuming that's what that is. And so I'm texting back and forth with some friends of mine about this, and I'm like, hey, what's going on? Blah, 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 blah. And, one of my buddies was like, hey, man, he probably mouthed off to the cops. And I said, yeah, he probably did, but there's got to be context. There's got to be context here. Listen, boy, that's the conflict. That's the conflict. One side of me says, dude, what the fuck is this dude doing face down in handcuffs in front of his car on the way to work? But on the other end, I'm thinking to myself, what could he have possibly said or did to cause these officers to react this way? Now, of course, we all know, a buddy of mine said, listen, Stephen A. has tried to make this a racist sort of event. And, I responded, I said, yeah, listen, I get it, but this may very well be rooted in racism, right? And that's the thing, gentlemen, I am honestly undecided, and nobody gives a shit about my opinion on this thing. Whatever happened, happened. But it just, I don't know, something about this just doesn't sit right. Listen, if new information comes out, and what I really need to see, guys, is I need to see that body cam footage. Guys. If I can see and hear that body cam footage, especially of the officer that, the arresting, detaining officer, whatever the case may be, right? Then I think that would give us a much clearer picture, right? I just don't. And again, listen, cops keep us safe. Listen, I've had run-ins with the law. Most of the time it's been my fault, but every once in a while I do get profiled, right? Every once in a while I used to get profiled. Back when I used to sell Audis, I used to get pulled over by the Raleigh Police Department all the time because they're seeing a young black dude driving a, $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 car. And they're like, okay, wait a minute. That can't belong to him, right? They pull me over. I show them, hey, look, I'm a dealer. My dealer tags, blah, 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 license valid, all this other kind of stuff. But it did get frustrating after a while. It almost seemed like, okay, the Raleigh cops are just trying to find some way to fuck up my day. Now, of course, we can talk about the fact that this could be sort of a racial incident, but never forget, guys, the same thing to a degree happened to Scotty Scheffler. Scotty Scheffler was, I believe, he was in the state of Kentucky, I think for the PGA Championship. It was for a golf major. I can't remember exactly. But it was for a golf major. Now, we didn't see what happened to Scotty Scheffler. We didn't see him on the ground or whatever, but we saw him being led away in handcuffs. And ESPN's Jeff Darlington rolled up on the cops and was like, hey, man, like, you don't understand. That guy is here. And the officer says, look, man, hey, he is being arrested and there's nothing you can do about it. And he really seemed to have a fucking attitude about it. He seemed almost genuinely pleased to be arresting Scotty Scheffler. Or at least the spokesperson was. Well, Scotty Scheffler's white. That officer was black. I don't know. So it's like we can paint cops we can paint them in one picture, one fell swoop, but you just never know. As I sip, I'm channeling my inner white girl, sipping my latte, or my pumpkin spice latte. B Daddy says, at least Donovan Sharp can retire and live comfortably whenever he wants. Yeah, listen, man, I'm on track to retire probably within the next, 5 to 6 years. So yeah, I'm living a good life. So yeah, like I said, man, yeah, my views have fallen off. Oh well, I'm still good. Paul says they some haters. Yes, they are. Dr. B84 says Donovan is strapped. Just FYI. Maybe. Maybe. Relaxing Sounds 9000 says, is it just me or is TSR Live looking 4K today? Yeah. We are streaming live and 60. We are at 60 frames per second, 60 FPF. FPF, oh my God. Wait, frames per second. FPS in 4K. Absolutely. Yes, thanks to Viking Paradigm, who helped me to sort of tweak my internet. I am now streaming in 4K. Hopefully the YouTube algorithm will be here for me. Glenn Lawrence is in the house. Good to see you in here. Again, guys, if you've got thoughts on this, let me go back to the if you got thoughts on this, if you guys have thoughts on this, give me a call, 516-387-1987. That's 516-387-1987. Phone lines are open. Apollo on the Rumble site says, I can see two possible issues in this situation. Tyreek probably mouthing off, having an attitude with the officer. The other issue is a cop having envy or jealousy of Tyreek's fame and fortune. You know what? It's interesting, Apollo. Yep. Hang on. Here we go. You know, it's interesting that you say that, Apollo. I think we are going to find out at some point. It was probably a combination of both. And guys, listen, I don't know what happened because I wasn't there. But the only conceivable explanation for this escalating to the point to where he's in handcuffs on the ground is he said or did something that pissed off the cop, in combination with a lot of cops now are jealous of Tyreek's fame and fortune. This is something you also got to remember, guys. Cops are people too. Okay? Just because they're police officers does not mean that they don't have that. See, these cops are privy to these guys' lifestyle, right? They've got TikTok, they've got Instagram. They're in Miami. They know exactly who Tyreek Hill is, right? Oh, wait a minute. They know exactly who Tyreek Hill is, so it's not like he's an unknown, right? So yeah, listen, man, cops are people too. Cops are absolutely people too. They see the TikTok videos, they see the lifestyle that Tyreek Hill lives. They see all that. And so, a lot of times, there are some people who are in positions of authority who just flat out get off on arresting, I don't want to say arresting celebrities, but just kind of showing celebrities, professional athletes that, hey, you are not above the law. Like, I have control over this situation. So I think, Apollo, I think you're right to some degree. I think it's probably a combination of both. I think he probably mouthed off to the cops, and this is what I think happened. Again, I wasn't there, so I don't know, but my guess is that Tyreek was probably speeding, right? I mean, listen, if he was speeding, he was speeding. But here's the thing, guys. We all speed. Right? We all speed. That doesn't make it right, but to end up in the handcuffs on the ground as Tyreek Hill going into the stadium, I don't know. That to me, that's a bridge too far. But he's probably speeding. Maybe he's weaving in and out of traffic. I don't know. But they probably pulled him over. Tyreek Hill is probably irritated. Like, dude, are you serious? I'm Tyreek Hill. Why are you pulling me over? Right? He's thinking to himself, okay, they've run my tags. They know who I am. They know where I'm going. They know why I'm going there. So what the hell? So The officer probably rolled up on the window. And guys, this is pure speculation just based on what we know. This is pure speculation based on what we know. The officer said, "Do you know why I pulled you over?" Well, Tyreek probably didn't respond too well today. He's like, "Yeah, cop, yeah. Officer, I was speeding, but I'm Tyreek Hill. I'm Tyreek Hill. I got to go to the fucking game." Tyreek Hill was probably agitated and irritated. And guys, it's probably one of those perfect storm situations, right? It's probably one of those perfect storm situations. Maybe the cop was having a bad day. Maybe he found out his wife was fucking a nigga on the side. Maybe Tyreek Hill is her side nigga. Who knows? Who knows, right? And of course, I say that tongue in cheek. But the point is that you understand that human interactions come with human interactions. If I'm Tyreek Hill, I'm probably a little bit agitated that I'm being pulled over when I'm very clearly on my way into work. Again, they can't not know who he is. He's driving what looks like a McLaren. They've probably run his tags before they got out of the car. It's Tyreek Hill, and he's on his way to the game. This doesn't mean that I'm justifying or you allow professional athletes or celebrities just to do whatever the hell they want to do. That's not what I'm saying, but every police officers have discretion. They have discretion, just like in my situation. That cop could have given me a ticket. Hell, he could have had my car towed. He could have said, "Hey man, look, you broke the law. You ran a stop sign. Your license is expired. You've got out-of-state tags. Sorry, bro. I got to tow your car." No, he didn't do that. He didn't do that because, of course, of the area that I live in, and I was polite. Now, that was a situation where clearly I knew I was in the wrong. That's that self-accountability. Maybe Tyreek Hill didn't really take accountability for whatever the case may be, but clearly he had to have been agitated by the fact that these cops were pulling him over. He is literally trying to get to work. Literally trying to get to work. Let's watch the rest of this particular. Let's watch the rest of this bad boy. Let's see what happens here.
No, he's on his way to the game.
Yeah, you hear. So there you go. There you go. Let's also react to a couple of other. So this is Tyreek Hill at the press conference after this particular incident. Let's take a look and see what his response is. So I mean, listen, he's wearing. I don't know if this is before or after the game. This has to be after the game. He's still got the same shirt on. Let's see what he has to say.
Right now, so I've been trying to figure that out too. Man. Right now, I'm still trying to put it all together. So I'm not gonna give you a version that I still don't know what happened. You know what I'm saying?
Very smart.
But I do want to be able to use this platform to say, like, what if I wasn't Tyreek Hill?
Right.
Like, worst case scenario, because it's crazy. Like, I want to be a cop one day. I got a state trooper, had all that.
Say
so
what?
I have a lot of respect for cops, man. But obviously, everybody has bad apples in every situation.
There you go.
I want to be able to, use this platform, to figure out a way to, like, flip this and, make it a positive on both ends, on my end and then also Miami-Dade, so that way we can team together and,
all right.
Do something positive.
Wait a minute, wait.
So that way we can, on my end and then also Miami-Dade.
Okay, so Tyreek Hill is clearly taking the high road here. He looks like he's taking the high road. He said, "Look, man, got respect for the cops," right? He's clearly taking the position that he's clearly taking is, "Look, man, cops are good people. I like to be a cop. I'm not going to assume that all cops are bad cops. There's obviously a bad apple in the bunch." He said bad apple. He didn't say bad apples. My guess is that the bad apple that he is talking about is the cop that was yelling at him, and don't get it fucking twisted. To me, that sounds like a power trip. I could be wrong, but it just sounds like a power trip. It really, really does. And look, word on the street is that Tyreek might be looking, there might be some litigation coming, right? There might be some litigation coming. But it seems to me as though he really, it sounds like he wants to make this right with Miami-Dade for many, many reasons. So listen, good. Maybe he means it, maybe he doesn't, but good for him for actually, hey, look, man, let's try and make this right with the cops.
So that way we can team together and, do something positive for them.
There you go.
Because that's what it's all about, bro. Like, you guys are here to, like, protect us as individuals. And I have a platform, and I want to be able to team up with you guys. So that's all I got to say.
Okay. All right. So yeah, I mean, listen, Tyreek Hill is, again, taking the high road. Let's listen to another. Let's go to CBS Sports HQ. Let's take a look at this.
You to monitor a developing situation regarding the Jags-Dolphins game. Star receiver Tyreek Hill briefly detained by police this morning outside of Hard Rock Stadium, outside of Miami Gardens for a traffic violation. Dolphins still say that Hill plans to play. Fair use. Might have to put the fair use. Yeah, there we are. Let's make sure this is up there. Fair use. Our Melanie Collins caught up with his agent, Drew Rosenhaus, to get
Rosenhaus.
Well, I'm joined by Tyreek Hill's agent, Drew Rosenhaus. And Drew, can you just give us a
Drew
timeline
Rosenhaus
of the
is a super
incident involving
agent, by the way.
Tyreek Hill this morning?
Yeah, my client, John Smith, Tyreek's teammate, called me and said that Tyreek was being detained by police. Some of the things that I heard about them putting him in handcuffs for a
So what you guys are getting sort of a glimpse of, in this particular scenario, is that the agent is not just the guy that negotiates the contract. Okay, the agent really agents are almost like personal assistants to professional athletes. And any sort of trouble they get into, the agent has an agency to handle that. So, for example, if you're player X, you get into it with someone at the club or something happens at the strip club, your first call is to your agent. A, I'm in some trouble. I'm being locked up. I'm being detained. Or, hey, I got one of my baby mamas is acting up. She's doing this or that. Or A, like, there's a bitch that I fucked out in Houston claiming she's pregnant. The agent handles that stuff. Well, Drew Rosenhaus just told us that one of his other clients, and by the way, Drew Rosenhaus is a super agent. Drew Rosenhaus is the Scott Boras of football. A lot of people say that Scott Boras is the Drew Rosenhaus of Major League Baseball, but Drew Rosenhaus is a super agent. He's got most of the biggest, most of the best players, very, very good at the mic, very, very good politically, et cetera, et cetera. So he just told us that his other client, John Smith, who plays with Tyreek Hill, called him up and said, hey, man, like Tyreek is getting arrested. He's being detained. He's in the handcuffs. And this is why Drew Rosenhaus is there. So again, just sort of a side note here. Part of the agent's job is to negotiate the contract. That's just part of their job. Most of their job involves all of the off-field stuff.
moving violation, a traffic ticket. It seems really excessive, to put it mildly. We'll be investigating that after the game. Number one, Tyreek is okay. Very upset, but okay. Number two, his teammates absolutely came to his defense.
Good.
Jonnu Smith and Calais Campbell, two leaders, veterans.
Good. And again, this is what makes this situation kind of different. Remember the girl who hit the guy on the scooter in Miami? Dude, I swear to God, there's all kind of... Dude, I'm going to tell you what, man. People are tripping down in Miami. We got bitches on pink cocaine, and we got singers running over niggas with, on scooters and shit. But you guys remember during that situation, Quavo's team was, Quavo's security, I suppose, was with her. And do you remember those guys getting into it with the cops? Hey, you shouldn't be doing this. And the cops are like, yo, bro, like, your girl hit somebody. Get the fuck out of here. This is an investigation. You're impeding an investigation. If you continue, we're going to fucking arrest you. And they kept talking. And I got visibly frustrated because I was like, yo, what are you guys doing? Well, guess what? It appears that the same thing happened in this situation. Teammates Jonnu Smith and Calais Campbell apparently were on the scene. And I don't know that I haven't seen any video of that, but they were clearly getting involved with what was going on. And you guys, and again, this is where the conflict is. Because you guys heard what Tyreek Hill said. What if he's Tyreek Smith? What if he's Tyreek Smith and it's Jonnu Jackson and Calais Johnson, just three nobodies, sort of having a discussion with the cops as to why their friend Tyreek Smith is on the ground in handcuffs? If they weren't celebrities, I'd be like, or professional athletes, I'd be like, guys, what the fuck are you doing? What the hell are you doing? This is, listen, man, obviously this guy did something to get detained, arrested, whatever the case may be. So why are you guys there? But context matters. Let's continue.
We're there with him the whole time. We got the Dolphins involved. Drew Brooks, the head of Dolphins security.
Oh, wow.
The police gave Tyreek a citation. He went into the stadium. His mindset, he was very upset, but he's going to focus and do what he has to do today for his teammates, his coaches, and the fans. But this was a mind-boggling situation. A player entering the stadium, I just can't imagine there's any scenario where you would handcuff him, put him on the ground. I'm just distraught about it. We will be...
Again, and I agree with Rosenhaus. And guys, again, we don't know what happened from start to finish. This is why we really need this body cam footage. This is why we really need this body cam footage, because the body cam footage, that will explain everything. It will tell us a lot in terms of what caused this situation to escalate to the point it did.
Be looking into it.
Yeah, what reason were you given for the detainment and arrest?
When I talked to Tyreek, he was stunned. He had no idea why it escalated to that extent. He felt it was very inappropriate.
And again, he said he spoke to Tyreek and he doesn't know why it escalated to that extent. Yeah, Tyreek knows. Tyreek knows. Again, and not that this is right. Listen, he probably mouthed off to the cops. But again, and guys, I'm not Tyreek. I've never been in that predicament. Okay, I've never been a professional athlete pulled over. I've never been a professional athlete pulled over by the cops trying to get into the football stadium so I can play the game. Right? I can sit here and say, well, I would not have reacted that way. I could say that all I want to, but you guys know I'm hot-blooded by nature anyway, except for, of course, when it comes to police officers, right? So would I be a little bit agitated? I think I probably would be. Now, to what extent I would show that agitation, one never knows, but the point is that we're humans. We have emotions. If you're Tyreek Hill, you're trying to get into work, you know these officers, you know these cops know who you are. I'm probably going to get a little bit frustrated too.
But we'll be dealing with that after the game.
Drew, you know Tyreek well. You used the word distraught. What do you feel like his mindset is at this point?
I'm sure he'll calm down. He was very emotional. Obviously, anybody would be. It's a very traumatic situation. But Tyreek is a consummate professional. He's a very strong...
Ken Rose with the $2 Rumble rant. Thank you very much for that, Ken. I greatly appreciate that. Let's continue.
Young man, and I'm confident he'll pull it together and be at his best today.
Drew, appreciate you taking the time with us.
Sure.
Thank you.
You bet.
Our thanks to Melanie, who had that.
And he was at his best. He caught his longest. He ended up catching an 80-yard touchdown pass from Tua Tagovailoa. He ended up scoring an 80-yard touchdown, the longest of his career. All right, let me look at this. We're going to look at this raw video now of the Tyreek Hill arrest.
No way.
Chill out.
Dylan. That's
Get him
Tyreek.
video.
So I guess there's no sound
Dylan.
FaceTime.
in this video. Is there? No, this isn't the... Okay, so this isn't the original video, is it? No?
What the
Tyreek
Dylan,
Hill.
Okay. So there's something going on with the video. I can't hear it, but apparently you guys can.
They put him in handcuffs. Oh.
Yeah, that's I guess that's a little confusing, I suppose. I don't know. A little confusing. All right, let me loop this bad boy. Let me read some of you guys's let me read some of your comments here. Robert Eliezer says, I'm stealing Stoptional. That's clever. Yeah, I actually got that. One of my best friends used to be a police officer, and I don't know where he got it from, but he's like, yeah, sometimes they call it a Stoptional. Funny, not funny. You know how that goes. Ice Dragon Kid says, also, for legal reasons, Dev is strapped. LOL, Don isn't. Wink, wink. Yeah, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. Yeah. Listen, you guys know I'm a 4-time convicted felon, so I can't own guns, which is probably a good thing, to be honest with you. But yeah. If somebody were to break in to here, I am 238% sure that Devin and I would absolutely handle that. We'd absolutely handle that. I'd go down and do what I needed to do. Jaymont says we're dialing in early today. Good day, fam. Yeah, good to see you too. Yeah. The show is it's going to be every weekday. Every weekday starting at 5 o'clock a.m. K Godfather says maybe he had a parlay on that game. Yeah. Jaymont says if you have to be in the city, the last thing he needs is to be rich and at war with the PD. Yeah, that's exactly right. You do not want to be at war with the police department over something like this. The Level Up Man says, kudos to Tyreek for taking the high road, even if the PD was in the wrong. There you go. Ice Dragon Kid says, facts, got to stay out of Miami. Lionheart Fitness says they are leaving things out. I bet they probably are. They probably are. All right. The phone lines are open. 516-387-1987. 516-387-1987. Let us go to area code 302. Area code 302. You're on live with Donovan. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Donovan. It's Edward. How's it going?
Hey, Edward. How you doing? Edward Cross, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's going on, brother? How you been?
Just in the truck like I always am.
Good stuff, man. So what are your thoughts on the whole Tyreek Hill situation, man?
So I don't really go into it too often or whatever, but people who really know me knows that I actually worked in the JP Courthouse 11 and 20 for a number of years.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I've worked alongside a few different departments of police. I've worked with private security and everything else like that.
Okay.
And it's like anybody else will be saying, the only way you're going to know anything is when you get the full investigation. And that's why, surprisingly, when I heard that he got pulled over, that they're involving internal affairs.
Oh.
So internal affairs are going to make sure that they pull those body cameras and they're going to see what else is going on. This is why it's important for people to understand and know their rights, because you filming the police is guaranteed right underneath the First Amendment.
Right.
It's a First Amendment protected right, and that's why they don't like that. If you're recording, I'm recording, what's the difference? And this is why you need more cameras. More people around is better than less people around.
That's right.
The only time you don't want no one recording is when you're doing dirt.
Right.
That's why sometimes you have to ask for a PIO officer or whatever.
And what's a PIO officer?
I mean, I know about Leo's public information officer.
Oh, okay. I've never heard of a public information officer.
So basically, a lot of people have called me an auditor. I have been called this, a First Amendment, Second Amendment auditor.
Okay.
I've only used the Second Amendment and my First Amendment to teach. It's not to audit. It's to teach other people so that you don't know your rights. This is America.
Okay.
But the issue is that a lot of people get intimidated by the police from them just barking stuff, and they don't look at the actual laws, or they end up in situations that they shouldn't be in because they think they know the law and they don't know the law.
Right.
The one thing that stuck with me that an officer has told me is that ignorance is no excuse for the law.
That's right. That's exactly right.
I agree with that.
Okay.
That's why when most people talk about the law and you ask them what they're coming from, most of the stuff that I'm saying is out of the Delaware Criminal Traffic Law Manual.
Okay.
When they talk about throwing the book at you, this is the book that the judge has. So any book that's on any book that people want to talk about, name the state and put Criminal Traffic Law Manual, and that book has actual every law for every state. And it's not just one book; it's a book for each state. So it's always different.
Wow. So in your opinion, Edward, what could have possibly transpired from the time Tyreek was pulled over to the time he was in the handcuffs face down? In your opinion, what are some possible scenarios? And I guess to a sort of two-part question, does Tyreek Hill, in your opinion, does he have some sort of accountability, responsibility for the situation?
Of course, all parties do, and that's the biggest thing about it. I think the most powerful thing that you said that people get away from is that the police are people too.
Right.
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 And I know that I say FTP a lot, but I don't put that on the person.
Right.
Who is this person that I'm meeting? What do they have to do with the situation?
Right.
And every person is different. And his situation, I've been in that situation many times.
Oh, wow.
The only thing you can do is stay calm, and you let the chips fall where they may, and then you have your lawyer or whoever go, and you find the information later. If there really was some wrongdoing, because you're going to sue the police anyway, it takes a long time. If you're going to go to court for traffic stuff, it takes a long time. Everything takes a long time when it comes to the judicial system, except for punishing and throwing you into jail.
Right.
So you might as well take your time and do as much research as you can.
Okay.
For him, I don't think it was as a big deal because I've been there before. But if the police pulled him over for nothing, and, body cams will pull this, if it was for nothing, then, yeah, hopefully he sues the department, and then they can stop just violating people's rights, because that's the only way the police will stop.
Yeah.
But if he was doing something and they caught it, it is what it is.
Yeah, and you and I, like, I've been hard on you for, in the past. I remember you made a comment and said, I tell the police what's up. But of course I took that out of context, and, I went off on you, but I understood where you came from once you explained everything. Obviously, we're both black men, and listen, we both had unexpected run-ins with the law. But let me go back to that. Let me go back to my to my first question. What do you think Tyreek Hill did or said that could have escalated the situation? Because I can't, and again, I'm an FTP guy too, for sure, but I can't imagine, and I'm not trying to say that this is Tyreek's fault, right? But you yourself said, listen, he's got to hold himself accountable to some degree. What on earth could he have possibly said or did to cause them to react this way? They're yelling at him. He's on the ground in handcuffs. What do you think possibly transpired? Or was this just a cop with a hair trigger temper looking to get famous, putting somebody rich and famous in jail?
So for me personally, you are at the whim of the officer in question.
Okay.
I've been in this situation many times before, because before I was talking the criminal traffic law manual stuff, all that stuff, gun-toting American things.
Yeah.
I was being harassed and abused by the police for years. I was driving around in a black 88 Mustang GT.
Woo!
Red interior convertible.
Oh,
all
shit.
black.
Damn, I'd have pulled you over too, bro.
A bunch of them. And it got to the point that I said, I'm going to be like these white boys. I'm going to be like, you know who my fucking father is? and I got to that point.
Okay.
The one thing I've learned with that is that you can be in that situation being completely calm. The only thing you can honestly do is just remain as calm, as stoic as they can, because they wish to push your buttons.
Yeah.
Because if you're in the wrong situation, they're going to do you. I think what happened is that if you notice, he's in a McLaren.
Yep.
You got tinted windows.
Yep.
It's a supercar. You're standing up. The one thing that cops do, they try to flex their nuts. They're like, roll down your window.
Okay.
If I had my window rolled halfway down, if I had it rolled down a crack, you can hear me. They don't like when you do that and you say, yo, I just want to do that for my safety, but it is for your safety.
Wow.
Just as much as theirs. I can't just stick a gun out the window if the window's rolled up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
And on top of that, you have so many cops there that there's at least pairs of eyes watching you.
Yeah.
Hands, watch your hands.
Right.
The one thing I had to learn in security, or you learn working next to the police or whatever, is that you have to yell commands. And sometimes you might do things that might not be lawful, but it might be a little bit better in your interest if this person may have or may not have something. But those calls, they can put your job on the line. The question is it valid at that time? And that's what you have to give. We have to have this conversation on some jury type time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
That's where it normally breaks, because how we're having it now, that's how it normally is.
Okay.
People are like, well, I don't think, or this or that or whatever. Like people filming, you can be 25 feet away.
Wow.
That's a perfectly acceptable amount of distance.
Okay.
That's what I was trying to say about the mom yelling.
Okay.
When the mom was
yeah,
yelling
yeah.
off at that girl, that was wrong.
Okay.
But staying distance back and filming the police, that would have been the correct thing to do.
Okay.
I've had a SWAT team down the street from me before, and they go, yo, you're too far. I said, what are you talking about? The SWAT team is up the block. This is exactly this many feet away. I was like, as a matter of fact, while you're barking in my face, where's your PIO officer?
Right.
Oh, sorry, sir, he's not here at this time, blah, 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 whatever else like that. As long as you stay respectful, you keep your distance, and you understand where you can move in the context of the law, most of it is constitutional. Most of it keeps you out of the situation.
Okay.
But for stuff like this, you're in a black McLaren with a window tinted, and you would do, get out. Get on the ground. Handcuff your ass.
What is
it happened too many times.
What is the purpose of a PIO officer? Because in that particular situation, you're talking to the SWAT team and they're barking at you, and you're like, meanwhile, where's your PIO officer? What exactly? Because as someone in the chat says, so Wolfpack says Officer Tatum was a PIO. That's Brandon Tatum. So what exactly is the role of a PIO officer in that particular situation?
His capacity is just to be there for the press and everything else like that. When I show up in certain situations and I'm recording, I'm coming underneath not as a citizen. I'm saying that I'm here as the press, and you're denying my First Amendment right is not kosher, and they know they can't do that.
Right.
That's why I roll up on them like that. No. So
Okay.
the PIO officers for people that have press tags or whoever is trying to get information for the story or scoop, they're supposed to be on scene so that way any questions that you might have about the situation is directed explicitly to them.
Okay. Very good. Now, you said that internal, you heard that internal affairs is getting involved. How did you find out that internal affairs is now involved with this particular situation?
To be honest, when you said that you were running the clip, I didn't even know that he got locked up. So then when I went and checked a few different videos, one of the news clips said that the AG decided to bring in internal affairs, the Attorney General.
Okay. Yeah. So Tyreek did not get locked up. He was detained. And I'm sure you know this. He was detained, and I think they said that they let him go with a citation for quote unquote reckless driving. How do you
reckless driving? Yeah.
What's your opinion on the reckless driving? Is that just something that did they just want to give him a ticket and just called it? Okay, we got to get our pound of flesh out of this guy. We have to show them that we did handcuff him to the ground for valid reasons. So we got to give him a citation for quote unquote reckless driving. What are your thoughts on that? And do you think that's valid?
So I'm not sure until you get the video camera.
Okay.
The tapes. Whatever else like that, so I don't want to come to any conclusions.
Sure.
But, on some reckless driving, the best thing I could tell them to do is if you never had no moving violations, this is the first time for anyone, I would plead to the judge for PBJ, which is probation before judgment.
Oh, wow. Like,
holy
smokes.
That's BS. That never happened.
Okay.
Or if it did happen, I'm sorry, whatever. Either way, you're not saying that you're innocent. You're not saying, you're saying that you're guilty, but you're saying, hey, I'm going to take this like this, and it's like you didn't do the plea. If that meets whatever.
Okay. Let's just say, for example, you are in the car. Let's just say you're one of Tyreek Hill's homies, right? Let's say that, hey, I'm gonna swing by and pick you up. I'm gonna get you, I'm gonna get you box seats, whatever. Let's say you are in that black McLaren with Tyreek Hill, and the shit that goes down goes down. What would you have advised him to do had you been a passenger in that McLaren stopped by these Miami-Dade officers?
So I do what I would do with anyone that's in the car.
Mm-hmm.
For me as a passenger, I have a 360 camera on me.
Okay.
I always carry an Insta 360 1X2.
Wow.
And it captures everything.
Okay.
Because I'm in so many situations where I need a camera and I need the view for everyone to see everything.
Okay.
Just stay calm.
Okay.
Listen to whatever the officer is saying. Keep both hands on the steering wheel. If it's nighttime, turn on the lights inside the car.
Okay.
You don't have to roll your window all the way down. At least halfway, though.
Okay.
And then, I keep my information in a little envelope that's above the visor, so that way when they ask me for it, I'm like, hey, may I reach?
Yes.
Hand them that stuff.
Yeah.
The less movement you have to make, the better. And having a camera, multiple cameras, your cell phone, dash cam, something, I don't know, an XLR, whatever in the corner running, even a voice recorder. These things can help you in your interactions with the police, because there's so many times that, and I don't want to just go and say all the bad police to make people whatever.
Sure.
But there's many times where they have had Miami-Dade police plant meth on people.
Of course.
This isn't like, you can't go ahead and say, no, that never happened. No, there's body cam of it. You plant meth and crack and whatever on people. Police can plant things on you because they are people too. So you treat people the same. I don't know what you're going to do, what you're going to bring. Same thing with your homies.
Yeah.
A motherfucker can drop something in your car. You don't know it's there. You just got to know who you're dealing with every time. And you have to use extreme caution with everyone and make sure you make it clear that, hey, with the police and with everyone else, this is my boundaries, and I'm not going to allow you to tote this without my knowledge or have this in the car without my knowledge.
Okay.
You as the driver, you take full responsibility, and you got hemmed up. You're in Jersey, and I had a homie do a U-turn, and there's no U-turns in Jersey.
Right.
So when he got pulled over, I'm not wearing a seatbelt. He's not wearing a seatbelt, and his girlfriend's not wearing a seatbelt.
Oh, man.
So we're all wrong in the interaction, right?
Okay.
Officer asked me for my name. I go, okay, I can give it. He was like, may I have your ID? And I said, what is the reason? He's like, you do not have your seatbelt on. I was like, oh, that's a valid reason.
Okay.
Here you go.
Okay.
But you know what kept him in check?
What's that?
That 360 camera floating in the background, recording everybody and everything in the car.
Okay.
And then he gave everyone the ticket. And then when I got my ticket, I gave it to the driver and said, yo, it was your responsibility to tell me to buckle up. I didn't. That ain't my fault. You should have known not to do no U-turn in New Jersey. You keep this ticket.
Right. Hey, man. Hey, that's
$40.
Hey, dude, look, man, $40 is $40. And I know, and I'll let you go on this. I know it's probably difficult to answer this particular question without the body cam footage, but the fact that internal affairs is involved, do you think that that's a publicity? Like, is that Miami-Dade just trying to say, okay, we're gonna get IA involved here just so that we can be quote unquote seen doing something? Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. And I agree with that, because you have to remember that me being in Delaware, DSP, especially from Dover, they have a reputation. I don't care where you are, where you're from, the police in your local jurisdiction, wherever, certain people have a reputation for good reason.
Right.
Some of them really are skull crackers like that.
Yeah.
Some aren't. You know what I mean?
Right.
So internal repairs, they're supposed to sit there and make sure that everybody is okay, the police and the police. But, we'll see at the end of the day.
Edward Cross.
All you can really do is wait.
Go ahead.
No, all you can do is wait, and that was the end of what I had to say.
Okay, Edward, listen, man, thank you very much for chiming in. When we get more information about this, I'm going to shoot you a text message to see if you have time, if you're not working or if you're not busy. I'd love to have you on in the not too distant future to talk more about topics like this.
No problem at all. And, I got all my old criminal traffic law manuals, so
there we go.
You can go through them.
Excellent. Edward Cross, thanks for calling in, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
So Edward Cross, listen, the guy works security. He works security. I mean, obviously he knows what he's talking about. And yeah, like, I did not know that internal affairs was involved. I didn't know internal affairs was involved. I had no idea. So that's pretty crazy, man. That's pretty crazy. And listen, man, it may very well be a publicity stunt. Just to stay, I guess, on the good side of the Miami Dolphins. I don't know. And again, if I'm the Miami-Dade police, if I'm the Miami-Dade law enforcement, in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, what good does it do for us to be in good with the Miami Dolphins, right? I'm just spitballing here. I'm just thinking from their perspective, Relaxing Sounds 9000 says pumpkin spice latte, L. Donovan. Yeah, look, man. Hey, look. I'll take that L. Absolutely. Let's see. Oh, so Beaten Cheek says, I know why Tyreek got stopped and yelled at. He says the police officers had a lot on the line in fantasy football, bro. The only way the guy that stopped Tyreek was going to win was by messing Tyreek up. Yeah. And then he says, but it backfired. Yeah. It absolutely backfired. Luke Perry says, I may be a lot I may be a lot of bread off sport. Oh, he said I've made a lot of bread off sports betting. So I am pro special treatment for athletes. I don't hate cops, but if you pull over an athlete unless it's a DUI, you snap a selfie and let him the fuck. That's, you know, I mean, listen, if he's drunk, if he's high, if he's impaired, yes, by all means, get him off the streets. Do what you got to do. Tyreek Hill clearly wasn't drunk or high, we presume. He wasn't drunk or high. He wasn't impaired. He was speeding. I don't know, man. This is just one of these situations, man. Jamont says, that's some shit. You should have told me to put my seatbelt on. Here's our ticket. That's messed up, but true. The driver should have made sure they had them on. Dude, you just never know. You never know. All right, guys, this is going to be the first of several live streams that I have today. I am also a little bit later today, As a matter of fact, what is it? Almost 7 o'clock now. I would say at, so at 9 o'clock Eastern time, 9 o'clock Pacific. Let me start over again. At 12 noon, 9 a.m. Pacific, I'm going to be back with episode 1101. Back with the episode 1101. And yeah, I'm gonna finish my Pop the Balloon or Find Love. We're gonna go through the a loyalty test video, and we're going to react to a Dr. John Deloney advice. Dude, who the hell knows what the hell is going on? Beaten Cheek says, Donovan, my guy, heard you were seeking me out on Seeking Arrangements. Dude, I don't even know. Dude, I've never been on a dating app. He says, joke, don't roast me. I know it's all good. Yeah, guys, I've never been on a dating app, so. Like ever. If for whatever reason Devin and I were to split up or whatever the case may be, I don't know, I might give it a whirl. Who knows? But just given what you guys are going through out here, holy moly. That is going to do it for this, the 1100th edition of TSR Live. This is the B&E edition. In just over 2 hours, I will be back with episode 1101, where I will be reacting to Dr. John Deloney, Pop the Balloon or Find Love, etc., etc. And hopefully this whole Tyreek Hill situation will have been, hopefully we'll know a little bit more. I'm going to do a little bit more research. I may give you guys an update, but it was crazy situation. At any rate, Ken Rose with another $2 super chat. Appreciate that. So yeah, listen, put it in the comments, guys, let me know what your thoughts are. If there's any additional information that you guys find out about the situation, join the Discord. Dr. B84 has put the Discord link in the chat. And so I am going to, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to finish, I'm going to go outside and I'm going to, oh, good God, I had a brain fart. I'm going to water my flowers, water my plants, and hopefully that situation works itself out. Beaten Cheeks with the $5 super chat says, here you go. Let's link up soon. Hopefully that will help. Thank you guys. And I will see you guys in just over 2 hours. Take care.